All right, let's go. What's good? What's good? What's good? You tune to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man, Kel. As you can see, I got a packed crib this week. As always, ladies first. Portia, what's good?
How's it going?
No doubt, no doubt. I got my man Gnu from Jersey. What's good, bro?
Salute. Peace, everybody. What's good?
What up, G?
All right.
Got my man Nick repping the ATL. What's good, brother?
What's going on, big bro?
All right, no doubt. I got my man Sue, who I guess is Preem or Fat Man Sue. I don't know your name, man. I don't know.
It's Supreme Sue for short.
All right.
Hey,
I said Sue. Niggas act like they ain't know who I was talking about. So Sue's here. I got my man Vern from the ATL.
What's going on, man? I appreciate y'all holding me down when I've been locked up, man. Seems like I ain't been on here forever.
I
put something on my books.
You got locked for a quick 6 months, but you back, bro. I got my man inside the NO. What's going on, babe?
What's happening, Kill? How y'all doing?
Oh man, everything is good. Look, I'm turning the show over to Portia because she came up with this topic from a conversation that she had. So I want her to explain it to all of us what we're gonna be doing this week. What's good, Portia?
Okay, so basically, one of my followers on Twitter said that as hip hop fans, we limit artists to a maximum of 3 classic albums, and we absolutely will not give them more than that. And the conversation progressed on, and I said that artists aren't giving us more than that. And I kind of had to defend all hip hop fans, and I said if an artist gives a classic album, fans will call it a classic, and we know that because everybody's throwing around the word classic. So, anyways, conversation kind of kept going, and so then I suggested the idea. So that's what it was.
So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Do any hip-hop artists or groups have 3 or more classics? Do we even limit them to classics? But the most important thing that we got to define first for all of us is what is a classic. Now, for me, I'm old school. I'm 44. I grew up on the Source 5-mic rating scale. Everybody up here knows I rate everything, and I do mean everything from friendships to anything you can plates, chicken cheesesteaks, everything on a 5-mic rating scale. Naomi does it. Everybody in my house rates everything on a 5-mic rating scale. So, to me, a classic, to get to the heart of it is, one, I'm not one of those people who think, a classic has to have an album where every song is perfect, because I feel like then it takes a nation wouldn't be that because she watched Channel Zero, ain't right there, fight for your right to party on Nation. So I'm not one of the people who believe that every song has to be incredible. For me, I've always gone on the basis of if I got to drive from Maryland to Philly and back and only take 1 CD, that to me is a classic album. You know what I mean? So that's for me personally, how I would rate albums. I mean, we can get into all the ins and outs of, of course, I want the beats to be banging. And then sometimes I have some personal classic albums that just meant something to me. I don't expect nobody else in the world to call it a classic. It's just a classic for me. Gnu, how do you define a classic for you?
To me, well, I do feel like the beats and rhymes got to be flawless, man. Well, at least 85% of the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got to feel at least 85% of your shit to be called a classic, man. Another thing, a classic album has to stand the test of time. Like, I mean, at the time when it comes out, you don't know that, but but like 10 years later though, can you pop that joint in, and the shit still bang and still kind of stand, hold its own against whatever's out at that time. You know what I'm saying? Also, the artwork too. I look at the artwork and shit, man. Like the cover got to be memorable. You know what I'm saying? That make me want to go back and grab it and go and put it back in rotation again and shit, man. But yeah, that's pretty much what defines a classic to me.
All right, no doubt. Nick, what about you?
I'm about where you at. I got to be able to ride out to it. You know what I'm saying? Can't be skipping too much material on it. Also got to stand the test of time, something I can continuously go back to years after the release. But I'll wait to be, because about the personal classics, then we can't be mad at my man for saying Ghost got 5 classics. That's his personal choice. That's why I said we
True.
gotta. We'll get into.
I hear that.
We'll get
I hear
into
that to a degree.
And here's my thing with that. I'm not trying to shit on Ghost because I love Ghost. You know what I mean? I'm just curious as to what personally were you going through? Did you get like locked up for a kilo or something like story that kind of you know, like kind of reminded you? Usually a personal classic kind of what you're going through. So unless my man and Ghost grew up in Shaolin, you know, personal classic. But I got you, Porsche. What about you?
Kind of like what everyone else sort of said so far. It's got to age well. It's got to remain relevant in some capacity over time. I think that it's got to kind of be good across generations. So, and I guess that kind of falls into the aging well part. But I think it's got to appeal to like every demographic in some way, impact music in some way as well, or the genre at least. And I don't know, this one I'm kind of iffy on, but it crossed my mind, critical acclaim in some way. And I think that's why I can't agree with Ghost having five classics, because it's got to have a buzz. Like, it's got to be accepted as that across some sort of, I don't know, you know, in some way.
All right.
That's what I think.
No doubt. Sue, what's up with you? What you got?
I'm going to kind of pick up on what Portia said right now, critical acclaim, because there has to be some kind of consensus that cements its status as a classic. Like, it has to have universal national appeal, not just beats. You know, everything y'all said as far as aging well and all that other shit, but there has to be some kind of agreement from the masses that, you know what I'm saying, like that verifies that validates it as a classic. And like Nick was saying, like, as far as personal classics, I can dig that to a certain extent, but I can also dig what you said, like, it's, well, unless you knew the dude, or, you know what I'm saying? But people do have what they consider personal classics, but that's not the same as classic.
Exactly.
Right,
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like the Beatnuts self-titled, that's a classic to me. I don't know too many people that's gonna say that's a classic.
UMC's Fruits of Nature, one of my all-time favorite hip-hop albums. People like it, but they wouldn't label it a classic, but it's one of my personal classics.
Right.
And then you got an album like 3 Feet High and Rising by De La, which a lot of people say is classic. I don't like that album that much.
Well, we're gonna fight tonight because
not one of my favorites.
I like the follow-up, De La Soul is Dead. So
but I could say to you, Nick, it has a lot to do with age, and I'll get into it when you heard it and when I heard it. It's two different things.
Exactly.
And I'll talk about that. Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, no doubt. So, Vern, since you're already talking, what's your classic stat?
All right, so I was gonna do them second, but I'll go first. To me, De La has at least 3.
Whoa! I would say.
Status. I'm sorry. Amalgamation of pretty much what everybody said. Got to stand the test of time. Has to have some type of critical claim. I would say the first album on that classic list needed to have broken some kind of ground. You know, kind of flip the game on his ear in some kind of way. But pretty much what everybody has said, though.
All right, no doubt. And Vince, what about you?
It's got to be an album that you go back to often. It still sounds fresh. If it's something from back in the day, if you pop it in 2018, you still get the feeling of when you first heard it. And I think a lot of times with something, if you deem it a classic, I mean, deeming something a classic is very personal to most people. I don't know. I mean, critical acclaim, yeah, that's cool. But just like Nick said, he just brought up an album that got a good, decent amount of critical acclaim, and he disagrees with that critical acclaim.
No, it's still a classic now. But that's we'll get into that too. It's still a classic. That's on my list. Yeah, that's on my list. But I don't like all things that are considered classics personally.
Me neither. I don't like a whole bunch of stuff that people consider classics.
Yeah.
All right, but that was all I had. We can move on and get into it.
All right, and here's the thing. My bad. I had to find this. You know, I'm getting old, so I wrote something a while ago. So I had to define my classics. I had You Gotta Love It, at least 90% of the album. For me, the beats got to be bananas. The rhymes have to be dope. Somebody may be saying, well, why the beats got to be bananas? The rhymes got to be dope. I always say because I'm a producer, and I can also use the group home example of that to what I think is a classic, but the rhymes aren't incredible. And I also had that it's got to be unique. It's got to be
groundbreaking.
Body else and everything else like that. So let's go right into it. Gnu, do you have anybody who has 3 classic albums? And if so, give me one of the people you got.
All right. Well, Kill, you already know my brother, who I'm gonna say.
I do.
I mean, who? He's right there. He's there. There he is, right there. That poster right there.
Okay, Reggie.
My man, Reggie Noble, man. You know, in my opinion, he is an artist. He had his first 3 albums was solid classics to me, man. To me, you know what I mean? Especially Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters is probably his most what he's most known for. You know what I mean? That probably got the most critical acclaim. But you know, Redman to me, man, got 3 solid joints under his belt, man. You know, sir.
No doubt, no doubt. Let's do this so we don't have to do a whole bunch of piggybacking. Anybody else got Red with 3 classics?
Yep.
All right.
Nice. Okay. Put great bonds think alike, Push.
All right. Push, you want to break down any breakdown on why, or what made them classics for you or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was everything that we've all been saying. I mean, Redman's got on those 3 joints that Gnu was talking about. I mean, the production is bananas. Like, I'm surprised you don't have Redman on your list, Kill. Production's bananas. His rhymes are always great. Redman is an entertainer through and through. Like, his albums are always great to listen to. Like, I don't even skip any tracks on those 3 at all. Yes. So I just think he's super fun. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just real solid albums across the board. So
now here's the funny thing, Poy. Since you asked that question, I'm glad I got Gnu here because this is the one who schooled me on it. He came over. You probably don't even remember this, Gnu. We had more. You come through the crib. Your Love and There's a Dark Side. I'm like, it's all right. And you was like, yo, do you smoke? I was like, nah. He was like, there you go. In the story, right?
Yeah, you have it.
But see,
I don't smoke.
That's my favorite.
But you don't have to be high. I don't have to be high.
At the time, it was like in 95 or whenever this dropped.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was on it. I was
right.
hard.
I've never smoked. I've never smoked anything. So, and I've always loved Redman. I loved Redman from Jump. Really? So, yeah. So,
and see, I like, for me, it was the production change. Like, I really liked that funk that Eric Sermon had for him, and I felt like that sound changed on
There's a Dark Side.
Right.
I agree with that. There's so much.
He bought it back with Muddy Waters.
Right. True indeed. Like, I got Red on my Close But No Cigar because I got What I got Dare at 4, and I got Muddy at like a 4.5, maybe a 5. But to me, it was production. And Dare's to me one of them albums I need to go back and listen to because to me it was probably an expectation. I was expecting it to sound like this. It didn't, and I probably didn't give it as much love as it deserved. You know what I mean? So I ain't got no problem saying I need to go back and dust up on that. But that's the only reason why I don't have Red there. But he's definitely on my Close But No Cigar list. Nick, who's one of your people?
I would say De La Soul. We were just talking about it.
Yes, sir.
I think they have at least the first 2, and then I would say Stakes is High.
Okay.
And that was my point. Like, I don't love 3 Feet High and Rising, but I know it's a classic because of how groundbreaking it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say 3 Feet High, De La Soul is Dead, and Stakes is High would be the 3 classics.
Now, Vern, I know you was talking about something before we got started about age playing a factor in that. So how old when 3 Feet came out?
When 3 Feet came out, I was 10. We talked about it. I was 10 when it came out. I didn't fall in love with hip hop until I heard Tribe October '91. Okay. So I heard De La Soul is Dead first. I didn't hear 3 Feet High and Rising until '92. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 3 years after the fact. So it plays a big part in the Yeah.
So I'm in the 11th grade, and you got to think about the culture of hip. I mean, not the climate of hip hop. You got NWA, 2 Live Crew, Public Enemy, all this stuff. Okay, so I'm not a gangbanger. I don't slang drugs. These quirky cats from New York, and this is the thing too, man. When the video for Potholes in My Line came out, we see the Phase and we see China and Jet dancing. And we down in Atlanta. I'm like, man, this is something different. It was crazy. And at the time, it was dope. Now, in my Mount Rushmore De La albums, I've got 3, possibly 4 classics, and then a favorite that might not be a classic, Grind Data. I love that album. Yeah. So I mean, literally, I wrote 5 albums down for De La, and if I did that, 3 Feet High would be the last one.
See, my favorite is Balloon Mind State.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
It's a killer. But that's the point about the age. So when it came out, I loved it because it was groundbreaking. But when I do it in the pantheon of De La albums now, out of the 5, it's the last one.
Now here's the thing. So did anybody have De La? Anybody else had De La with 3 classes?
Yeah, I did. I had De La.
I had De La like that too.
All right. Shaking his head like hell no.
They know why. They don't.
He got it. He got his band.
For me, De La was another close but no cigar. I got them at 5 mics with 3 feet, and with De La Is Dead, I got Grind Date at 4, Stakes Is High at 4. So, but again, I wanted to include these close but no cigar folk because that's still hard to do. You know what I mean? Yes. I didn't want this to be like, you know what I mean? I'm hard on grading hip hop, so I just wanted to include them because that's still a feat to have. De La came out when I was in 9th grade, and these dudes just dropped the album 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So
I was in the 5th grade when they got.
I was in 10th grade, man.
Right. So that
right no, they didn't.
We ain't gonna talk about that last album, but hey, they made an album. You know what I mean? That's
longevity, baby. Yeah, you're right.
Porsche. Did I go to you already? Nah.
Yep, you did.
I did.
Yep.
Good.
She had Redman.
She had Redman on her list.
All right, Sue. What about you?
I got Gang Starr with at least 4 classics.
Wow.
Yeah, groundbreaking.
Which 4 you got? Which 4 you got?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. From Stepping the Arena on.
Okay.
Stepping the Arena, Daily Operation, Hard to Earn, and Moment of Truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, like Beats. We talking Premier, so we already know the Beats is tight. And then we got Guru, who was so nice. He had that voice. This was I didn't like the debut album, No More Mr. Nice Guy. I wasn't feeling that. I like the single I Manifest.
It was joints on there.
There was some bangers on it. There was some bangers.
There was some joints on there, but I don't consider No More Mr. Nice Guy a classic. I don't
right?
Nah, not a classic.
Nah,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. As far as more 3 or more, definitely Gang Starr. What else can be said about this group, man? I mean, if you I
feel like Guru underrated. I feel like he kind of underrated. I remember Kill saying you didn't pay attention to his rhymes to after the fact, and you kind of had to go back and check them out. I feel like because a lot of people feel like Premier carried Guru, and I don't feel that way.
Nah,
I'll say this. I don't think Premier carried Guru. I think they complemented each other very nicely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say this. Outside of that Jasmine Taz, you know what I mean? When Guru without Primo, it didn't fit right.
Work is right.
So I will say they complemented each other. I do feel Guru is underrated. I felt like he could do everything you could want an MC could do. I think a lot of people may not like monotone rappers, so I know a lot of times people, when I find people who say they think they don't like Guru, they don't like Jizza, they don't like Bahamadia, they don't like those monotone rappers.
Yeah, rappers. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely think he is underrated as an MC. All right, no doubt. Did anybody else have Gang Starr?
Yep. I had Gang Starr.
I did too.
All right, you had Gang Starr.
That's on my close but no cigar list.
Yeah, they're on my close with no cigar. Porsche, what are the 3 albums, or how many albums do you feel like they have?
I wouldn't give them 4. I would give them 3. And I agree with Sue. I mean, it's of the ones he said. So Step in the Arena onwards. But I wouldn't say Which one is the last one? Moment of Truth?
Moment of Truth.
Yeah.
The owners is.
But yeah, the owners. Was
no,
like
no,
the
no.
last one with Premier, but-
No. But Moment of Truth, I would give that one like just shy of 5 mics. So that's why it didn't.
All right. And no doubt. Vince, you had Gangstar?
Absolutely. Yeah, Gangsta, man. Gangstar is one of the greatest groups in hip hop.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, after the first joint, the discography is virtually flawless. So I can't see. I'm going 5 on all of them. If we're gonna do mics, I'm saying 5 on all the rest of them. Yep.
Even the owners?
Nah. All the rest we was talking about.
Yeah. And I'm like Nick. I got Gangstar Close but No Cigar. I got Daily Operations at a 5. Moment of Truth at a 4.5. Hard at a 5.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how I went. Nick, same thing with you, or?
Yeah, my classics would be Step in the Arena and Hard to Earn.
Okay.
With Daily Operation and Moment of Truth, like right there.
All right. No doubt. Let me go to my first person. It was weird. I guess I'm just hard on hip hop because I got 2 people. I got Jay-Z. I got Jay with Reasonable Doubt. I got Blueprints at 5 mic. I got Black Album at 5 mic. And I actually have American Gangster at 5 mics.
Yep.
I know a lot of people. I know people who absolutely do not like American Gangster at all.
Yeah.
Me the fuck out. But to each his own. So I got Jay with actually 4 classics. Anybody else got Jay on their list?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't write him down, but yeah, he's there.
He on my list, Close with No Cigar list.
All right, he on a Close with No Cigar list. All right.
I got him with Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and Black Album.
All right, and what about you, Porsche?
Did we lose Porsche?
Porsche.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry.
What about you? Hey, what albums?
Lost it again.
No, I'm here.
Well, answer the question.
What was the question?
I said what albums for Jay?
Jay, I've got actually the same ones that you do. American Gangster, just shy of 5 mics, so I wouldn't give American Gangster 5 mics.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we back at the beginning again. Good news. What's your next group?
My next group, I'm going to go with EPMD, Eric and Paris Making Dollars.
Yep.
First 3, man, I would say probably at least up to which one was the joint they broke up on?
Business Never
Personal.
Up to that one. All
That's
classics, man. All bangers.
So you say all 4?
Yeah, I
see. Yeah.
All right.
I would say all bangers to me, man.
Anybody?
I grew up with them cats.
Anybody else got?
I mean, not personally, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
You know that.
Anybody else got EPMD?
I had them on my close.
Yeah, they're on my close.
All 4 of them first.
I got 2 classics for them.
Yeah, me too. I had 2.
The first 2.
Yeah.
I got them on the Close but No Cigar. I got
first 2 is classics.
Yeah, I got Strictly Business 5, Unfinished 4.5, Business as Usual 4, and then Business Never Personal 5. So I've got them.
So you got the first and the 4th classics.
Yeah, first. I go back and forth between Strictly Biz. I think Strictly Biz will always be my favorite. Just the time,
baby. Yeah.
Sure.
That Business Never Personal was crazy, man. That joint is something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. But all right, no doubt. Nick, what about you?
Outkast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who do you?
The first 3.
Yep.
Southern Playalistic, ATLiens, and the Promenade.
Yep.
Stankonia too, man.
Yeah, I got Stankonia on mine. Yeah.
5 mics. All right. Anybody?
Well, I don't necessarily do it the 5 mic thing. I would just say what I did is I wrote down they got at least 5 jams on there. So if you put on an album, they got at least 5 dope songs. It's on there for me.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you ain't no teacher. Our fucking kids. Bird, yo, it's 14. I do this shit just like a teacher. It's 14 songs. I like 5. Divide that. Nigga, you going to summer school first.
Now, I said, and this is, I mean, I'm talking about when I'm talking about like the great, because I have more than 5 on each one of the ones that I have listed.
All right, hold on. Let me do the math here because Vern gonna have a lot of kids. Graduating, man, when they shouldn't be graduating, man. 14 songs and there's only 5.
No, I said at least.
At least.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, take that out the equation.
Wait. So
like
what?
5. He's saying like 5 great, like
that's what I'm saying. Stuff that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But
Not just 5 songs you like.
Right.
You gotta be like.
Yeah, but you have an album like Capital Punishment, and it's got 25 songs on the friggin' track list.
Name 5 of them that everybody
like everybody got.
Yeah, name 5 of those.
You can't. You probably got 2 or 3.
But what do you mean?
But here's the thing: like, even if there were 5 great, and I mean, I'm not debating. I mean, that's how you do it. But I'm just saying, like, you know, if there's even these 5 songs are just incredible, but you've got 10 songs on the album, from the door you got a 50. Like you got an F. Like
less than half. Yeah.
Well, but y'all take it. This is what I'm saying. I'm talking about 5 dope songs and then 4 or 5 that you like. But I'm talking about like critically acclaimed. Most people, as soon as you hear, and then you got other ones that, those are dope too, but not just on that level.
All right, you have to give me an example, bro. Give me an album. Like, we're gonna call 20-second timeout. Like, sure. even if we gotta come back to you, because I'm just glad you ain't a teacher, because there's a lot of.
I'm glad I ain't either, because I'll be in jail.
There's a lot of kids Herb be like, all right, you got 5 right, 5 wrong.
I maybe shouldn't have thrown out the number 5. I'm just saying, maybe you stuck on that 5.
I'm just stuck on 5.
Yeah.
All right, no doubt. All right, Nick, you said Outkast. Yeah, I got Cast too. With the first 3 too. I got Stankonia at a 4.5.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
It's right there. So
and then so if you go to Speakerbox, probably one of my least favorite Outkast, you can name hits on that mug that most people like.
I can. Well, see, here's the crazy thing. When you talk about Speakerbox, what most people like, most people who aren't Outkast fans are only gonna be like, I like the way you move. And they may know that other joint with the Patti LaBelle sample, and that's about it. I love that album, and I'm like, I can't even remember the name of the song with the Patti LaBelle sample. I know I like Bowtie. I mean, I can't name them off the top of my head. I don't think that's a classic, though.
It's not necessarily a classic, but in the discography, scratch that off. Never mind. They got 4. All right,
no doubt. Porsche, what you got up next?
You ain't heard me yet, Kill.
Oh, my bad, Vern. I'm sorry. Vern, what's your joint? My bad.
All right, so you named Outkast and De La. So I'm gonna go with Tribe. Because people's instinctive, groundbreaking.
Yep.
They set a lane for themselves. Then you got classic hip hop songs on there. Bonita, Can I Kick It? You know, Push It Along, El Segundo. And then stuff on there that's really dope to me, like Devoted to the Art of Moving, but Youthful Expression. Then obviously Low End Theory, nothing needs to be said about that. Midnight Marauders, nothing needs to be said about that.
I got two bulletproof classics.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bulletproof.
Anybody else have Tribe on their list?
Yes.
I had Tribe.
I do. I did too.
I got Tribe.
First 3.
First 3.
Yeah, because see, if you don't have people's instinctive, you don't get to Low End and Midnight.
I mean, for me, them niggas were just fucking weirdos for me. So that's like, I don't know.
Wait, we gonna get okay.
Segundo. It wasn't groundbreaking to me because I felt like they were coming up under De La and they was coming up under Jungle Brothers. So to me, People's Instinctives wasn't groundbreaking because De La was dressing like some weirdos. You know what I mean? So to me, it wasn't really groundbreaking. It had some good songs, but to me, Tribe was sort of in that Black Moon mode, and what I mean by that is that I really began to like Tribe when the Can I Kick It remix came out, and they used the baby break, and their drums became a little bit harder. And to me, that was them going into low. Keep in mind, they're making People's Instinctives while they're in high school, so I'm not knocking it. I mean, the kids making Bonita Applebum, so I'm in no way knocking that, but it just didn't. You know, People's Instinctives. I'm not beefing with nobody. If y'all got 5 mics, I totally understand.
That's the other thing with me, Kill. I don't do the 5 mic thing. It's my mind don't work like that. It's so that I know, and that's probably why you kind of grapple with some of the choices sometimes.
No. I mean, no. Like People's Instinctives, I've met plenty of people who like, that's a 5 mic classic. You know what I mean? It didn't speak to me because kind of like what Gnu was saying with the album covers, like. I wanted somebody who I could relate to. You know, it's kind of like when Iverson came in the league, and it was like, yo, here go a dude who looked like me and dressed like me, or
man, you couldn't relate to this man.
I'm not walking in the school with no damn.
But you love Andre 3000.
What happened?
You love Andre 3000. That nigga is the weirdest nigga.
I love
Andre. He took it further than Tribe.
But remember when Andre came out, he was Hood Andre. I'm talking.
That's just one album, though.
You know, you're right.
With this.
He grew, but as a group, I love Big Boys. Oh, to this day, this is why I love Big Boy. You know what I mean? If you ask who's my favorite in Outkast, Big Boy, it ain't even close. If you ask MC, I'll tell you 3000. But I don't think if Big Boy started wearing turbans too, I need somebody to give me some street, something street to it. You know what I mean? So that's just me. Somebody else may be like, look, I don't need nobody to look like me. If it's dope, it's dope. So that's why I'm saying for me, I'm just looking at these tribes people like, y'all some fucking weirdos, be like, I don't know what Bonita Applebum is about. They're like, oh, it's about an ass. Well, say that then. Like, I'm like, just say like, don't trick me. Just say it's ass. So, but
wait. The only thing I want to say about Tribe being groundbreaking, I don't think it's groundbreaking in the sense that it was never done before. Right. But what Tribe, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the genre, Tribe is known to be the group that actually bridged the gap of demographics. Mm-hmm. So it was like young people were also listening to Tribe, older people were also listening to Tribe, whereas with Jungle Brothers and De La, it wasn't necessarily that the younger crowd was also listening to them at the time. Tribe is the only group, I think, in hip-hop that I know of off the top of my head that actually had the next generation also listening with their parents, for example, whereas no other group really did that. And that's where they're groundbreaking. Not so much that they brought in a style or something that nobody else was doing. That's where I just wanted to say that. I don't know.
I think that's more groundbreaking with Low End, though. You know what I'm saying? And keeping in mind,
I think it maybe more so with Low End because it's a stronger album, but I think it started with People's Instinctive, actually. But that's just what I...
And again, I don't know. My mom's a musician. She ain't listening to no hip-hop. So, I could have had... I'm like, look, Ron Carter on this album. She's like, yeah, whatever. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? But, my mom just didn't rock with hip hop. So again, maybe somebody moms did. It was like,
my mom's gonna fuck with it.
Right. So I don't know if they bridge the gap. I don't know, but I mean, hey, y'all say 4. I'm all with you on that. Vern, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say to keep piggyback on what Portia said. I remember I was at a concert and this DJ was spinning, and I'm talking about you had the hoodest jokers from Bankhead up in that mug. You had white boys from Buckhead. You had hippies from Little 5 Points. They put on Tribe, and everybody, Shaniqua, everybody was spitting the lyrics. I don't know a lot of groups that can do that.
I agree with that. I just didn't know about the parents. Like when I think parents, then we'll get to this person because I actually did some R&B stuff too. Was Mary J. Mm-hmm. Mary J. to me transcended from our generation to our parents' generation with that "Not Gonna Cry" off of Wait and Exhale. Mm-hmm. Where I could be like, yo, people's mothers like Mary J. Blige. Like prior to that song, I don't think nobody's moms was trying to see Mary J. in Vegas in concert. You know what I mean? So I do agree that Tribe bridged that gap, and you'd have white people and black people and hippies and thugs and all that. I just didn't have my parents just weren't listening to hip hop. But I know what you're saying, Porsche, because I do know a lot of people's parents who were like, oh, I like that song or I like that and things like that. If anything, I'm almost would say Tribe put more people on to jazz music.
Mm-hmm. Jazz music, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After Low End came, that's when everybody became this jazz aficionado, and
right.
So dudes was hanging out at jazz clubs. But then when that shit got played out, they left the jazz club. So, Stu, who you got up next?
Wait, I just wanted to say something real quick because I agree with you on them 3 points. Those 3 unpopular opinions. People addicted to passive rhythm didn't feel it. Didn't feel him till Low End Theory. De La Soul never felt it all. I'm sorry, y'all.
No apology. No apology.
And Big Boy over Dre for me. Okay, now I'll get to my. I just wanted to get that out because you were saying something. You were saying something that spoke to me very loudly. I'm like, I agree with that so much. And you know, those that know me from my little group, they know how I feel about De La Soul. As far as Big Boy
and
Big
other
Boy
groups.
Dre. But
you still don't like that weirdo shit. Get that shit out of here. You got to go home, nigga. Whoa.
Happy shit the fuck out of here, man. Okay. I got my dummy cards here. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to research. Okay, I got. Oh wait, damn! I got Mobb Deep with 3 classics.
Nice.
Okay.
I got the infamous Hell on Earth and Murder Music. All classics in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else got Mobb with 3 classics?
No,
Close but no cigar.
Close but no cigar. Yeah.
Mobb was on my list.
Yeah, and I was with them with Close but no cigar. I got Infamous at 5, Hell on Earth at 4.5, and Murder Music. That was like a 3.5.
3, Mike. 3 Mike album.
3 for
My goodness.
Murder Music.
3 months.
Murder
Music.
I mean, I'm just for me it was 3.5. I really wasn't a big fan of Murder Music. I felt like they had good Murder Music. If I'm not mistaken, that's Quiet Storm, right? Or is that?
Yeah, Quiet Storm on there.
Yeah,
Quiet
okay.
Yeah, the realest with Cool G.
Quiet Storm, the realest. Yeah.
They had some dope joints on there, but just as far as again, me classic, I can put on the Infamous and drive up and down 95 all day long. You know, same with Hell on Earth. I can't do that with Murder Music. So for me, again, I would be skipping through some joints on there.
I agree.
But
I think that's what happened with Murder Music. Fell victim to trying to fill out this whole 80 minutes of a CD. I think like Infamous had 13 songs. Hell on Earth had 14. Murder Music might have had 20.
Yeah. Maybe 19, 20 joints.
Yeah. So I could have like shaved off maybe 5.
I didn't realize.
yeah. So but I feel you. Vern, what you got up next?
Okay, I try to bring something new. And this is a crazy one, and I might get shouted down. I'm not the biggest fan of 2 of the 3 things that I'm gonna say are classics on this for this particular person. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Mm-hmm.
To Pimp a Butterfly is one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. And damn, I think those are classic records to me.
Yeah. That's on my list. You ain't gonna get no fight back from me, big bro.
All right. And anybody else got Kendrick?
I do.
Yes, sir.
I had Kendrick.
I had Kendrick.
I got
cigar.
I got Kendrick on my list.
Well, even though I don't like Damn,
I don't care for it. Right.
I
That's how I
struggle
am.
with Damn.
Yeah, I don't care
Damn,
for
yo.
it. I don't care for it. But I mean, it's there though.
Yeah, we can't deny what it's doing.
Yeah.
See, that's the part where I'm kind of off with the classic stuff because even if it's doing something, like for me personally, I can't give it to it. So Damn is like a good 4 to me. But you know, Damn could sell 8 billion records, and I'm still like, it's still a 4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so for me,
but that's what we get into. Now we're talking personal classic.
Right.
Like how I said, De La Soul, 3 Feet High. That's a classic. I don't like it though. But I can't deny its classic status.
But here's
same here.
But here's the thing. Why is it a classic? Because everybody else says
No. It's a classic because he pretty much combined the best elements from his first 2 albums.
I'm talking about De La. I'm talking about 3 Feet and High. Because you're like I don't like, you were saying with De La's first album.
Yeah.
You don't like
but I don't have to like a classic. That's my thing.
Okay.
But it's got
my whole thing is
3 Feet has the critical acclaim.
It has the critical acclaim.
Yes.
It went platinum.
It was groundbreaking.
It was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
Hell yeah.
That's the thing for me. Just because, like, and I mean, I'll give an example, even though this ain't true, so it's a bad example. Like Scarface. I'll give you a great example. The Godfather is a 5 mic movie to everybody else. That shit's good to me. You know what I mean? So
I know how I feel about I don't fuck with them.
I don't like
movies.
Scarface. Like
I'm just saying, but I'm just saying that's what I mean. For me, the critically acclaimed doesn't mean anything because The Godfather, you ask anybody, 5 mic, oh my God, that's the greatest movie ever. I'm like, it's kind of slow to me at times. Like, so
it's still classic though. You can't say that.
So confession.
Then it's all just personal. Then
Well,
Right.
That's why everything is personal. It all
Well,
is personal.
that's what I was going to say. That to an extent, to me, there's a difference between a personal album. Like, I'll give you a great example. Commons, One Day It'll All Make Sense is a personal classic for me because at that time I just moved to Atlanta with my girl. I just graduated. I couldn't find no job. We beefing. He got this One Day It'll All Make Sense. Like, that album, like, literally, like, on some old spoke to my soul type shit. So it was like, yo, that's a personal album for me. Whereas, like, Illmatic is a personal album for me, even though it's critically acclaimed, even though everybody else agrees with it. You know, like, I think that's the thing for me. Even if everybody, Nick, you've been on plenty of shows with me where I'll be the odd man out. I'll be the odd man to say, nah, I totally disagree. Like, you all, if like, hell, we were just doing a show about, did Illmatic, like, really change hip hop that much? Like, you know what I mean? And we called hell for that because it's like, oh my God, this is the most groundbreaking album ever. And if guys didn't make this, you know, nobody would know how to put words together. And I'm like, well, I don't know. You know, so
but here's where, like, I think what everyone else is saying, to us, Illmatic didn't change the world, but you can't go around saying, oh, Illmatic's not a classic. It's a clear classic. Like, it is a classic, widely accepted as a classic across the board. Like, that's something non-negotiable.
But I think that's the thing with me, that I'm just the type of person that's like, I can't be out with my boys and be like, yo, like, niggas be like, yo, she a dime. I'm like, nah, she ain't. Like, I can't go along with.
Well, okay, so
you know, like, I'll be the odd man out to be like, nah, that Illmatic ain't no classic. I'm like, I see why people like it, but that's
Illmatic has an asterisk because it's like, it's not a classic to me, but I can understand that it's a classic to everybody else. That's how it is.
But that's the thing, that I'm always the one, like, and y'all know me, I'm the person who's gonna say the shit that nobody else wants to say. People think it, but they don't say it. So, you know, like, nobody wants to tell Rakim, like, yo, stop rhyming, but it's like, Rakim, stop rhyming. Like, I know we
don't need new albums from Rakim.
Right. You're not in hip hop, you're just not supposed to say some things. Whereas I'm like, fucking say it. Like, these people I tell my moms what I think. How am I tell my moms what I really think and not tell some nigga from Wyandotte, Long Island, who I never met, never did.
Okay, so it's 3 Feet High, not a classic.
3 Feet High is a classic because I love the album. Like, I can't call an album a classic if I don't love it. So the majority of hip hop classics I'll probably agree with. But if somebody said Paul's Boutique, I know lots of people say Beastie Boys' second album, Paul's Boutique, is a classic. It's a digger's gold mine. If you make beats, you gotta love Paul's Boutique. I don't like that shit. Like,
I agree with that. I don't particularly like that Paul's Boutique myself.
It was all right.
But when you talk to people, it's heralded as like,
Absolutely.
I mean, question, a lot of people call this album like, this is the album that took hip hop production to the next level.
Oh, nah.
I wouldn't go
about that.
They was like a bomb squad cop. They was copying that stuff.
They're like the Dust Brothers. Yeah.
Like, you know, but I'm just saying, like, now that's heralded as a classic. In fact, I got a book around here. I
don't even like Beastie Boys much, to be honest. I don't like. It is what it is. There.
They have some joints.
This book talks about sampling, and it takes a Nation of a Millions and Paul's Boutique. Like,
I mean, I've heard Chuck D talk about Paul's Boutique.
Right, but that's what I can't turn around and be like, oh yeah, Paul's Boutique is a classic shit. I don't even like shit on it. Like, I don't even know a song. Like, I can't call like, to me, Boomerang is a classic movie. Why? Because I can quote it all day long. How am I gonna call an album a classic? And I don't even know. I can't name one song. Hey, ladies.
So it's all personal. Man, we should have had guys.
So then,
we should have had my man on here talk
Right.
about Ghostface.
Right.
If Ghost got 5,
now here's the thing.
he got 5.
They're also, don't see, it's personal, and then it's really personal.
Come on, Kill.
So, let me say what I was gonna say. So, Kill, I might never get invited on this show again because there are a lot of dope MCs, dope groups that everybody on here is their faves, and I'm like, they cool, but I know that I never was no big Jay-Z fan. I never was a big Nas fan. Never was a big Wu fan. A certain, for one thing, at a certain time in my life, I wasn't even listening to hip hop no more. But that's a whole different story. But I can acknowledge Wu has some dope stuff. Nas has some dope stuff. Jay has some dope stuff. Biggie has some dope stuff. I couldn't rattle off like y'all be rattling off, and that's why I kind of played it back. It's classic. but it ain't my favorite stuff. But I can acknowledge that it's dope because I understand hip hop. I understand that it's dope and why it's classic. It's just not mine. If that makes sense to you.
I mean, I feel you. I totally get you. I totally get you. Like I said, I'll be the odd man out on this show too. I know people who be like, yo, Sanaa Lathan is crazy. I'm like, she right. That's the thing. Like, I just don't fall in line like, oh, Sanaa's a 5. Oh, yeah, Sanaa's a 5. Like, that's what most people do. I just don't do that. Like, if you're not a 5, if you're not a dime, you're not a dime. Like, that's, you know, so it's hard for me to call a movie a classic, and I don't even like it. Like, I can't do that. You know, now to go back to the dude who had 5 Ghostface albums, there's sometimes where you just on a crack, and that's okay.
Hey, like, I mean, if you're about practice,
niggas are losing houses. I know people losing their house, losing cars, people losing jobs. Like people sending kids to college right now. Like times are fucking hard. If you gotta like smoke some shit to get your mind right, that's cool. Ghostface is not that classic. Like let's shut that shit down right now. Like let's just be real. Like that's just a no. Like no. Like so, there's some space in there to agree, but then it's just like, nah, nigga, you bugging.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's standum right there. I mean, you lose all objectivity.
Right. It's like I love Allen Iverson is my favorite player, but I would never get on ESPN and be like, Allen Iverson is the greatest player ever. Like you're never getting invited back to that show. Like you're gonna be like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. Cut the camera to go to commercial. Get this. Get that racist Will Kane back on, and let's keep it moving like that. Like it's not gonna happen. But I feel you. I don't even know who's next. Portia, you next?
No. We not skating that easy. No. We on Damn. So like, these kids are jamming Damn the same way we jammed some of our shit back in the day. How we gonna say?
Here's the thing. Let me do this. Define these kids. What age group are we talking about? Because when people say these kids, remember I work with kids, so that's why
I'll say high school age to like college.
No, they not. Ain't no high school. Well, I'll say this: in Southeast DC, ain't nobody named nigga listening to no Damn. They listen to Shy Glizzy and Baby and all Little Baby Boy.
Hey, man, that's a regional thing. Though.
I don't know who you talking about.
That's a regional thing, though.
It's
gonna be different in all regions.
So
that's the thing. Like back in the day, like I could say Wu-Tang is classic. Niggas was not fucking with Wu in Atlanta.
Nope,
they just wasn't.
All right, but here's the thing.
That don't mean it ain't classic though.
In Atlanta, but what I'm saying,
niggas was not fucking with Wu at all.
Right, I get you. I'm really trying to really fathom if teenagers who love this mumble rap are listening to Damn. So you're telling
I got legacy whatever inside my DNA and a couple other joints. Yeah, I agree with Nick.
I agree with Nick because in Canada. Have like in Vancouver have people who are 12 like people's kids that are 12 years old are listening to Damn.
Right.
Like 12 years old. Like young girls are listening to Damn talking about Kendrick's the best ever.
I digress. So, I digress.
Yeah.
But again with me, I'm just can't because kids are rocking it. Cause I mean and shit, the Nicki Minaj is the shit. Then.
Well, I mean we was kids when we was listening to our shit. Yeah, well, at least me. I was in high school. I was in high school listening to Nas. Yep. I had to hide that shit when my friends come around. Like this nigga.
And I ain't talking about little Uzi squirt. I'm talking about Kendrick, a spitter. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. This is a respected MC.
But it's the same thing with J. Cole. I'm not giving that nigga no fucking credit.
No.
But J. Cole ain't Kendrick though.
Right. No.
Because that's what it is. I know. I don't know high schoolers. I don't even know college kids. So. I'm just saying the younger generation, they love J. Cole. Y'all know they love the ground.
Yeah, them college kids, I mean, they worship him. Yeah.
But I'm not giving J. Cole no classic album just because fucking Howard listens to him all day long. They do the marching band with I'm not giving them 5. But again, I don't want to belabor this because that's just me. So I can't call something a classic because others like it. You know what I mean? I could be like, that's a groundbreaking album, I guess. But
there has to be something to be said about critical acclaim across, like, there has to be something to be said about that.
De La Soul off my list, and they got 2.
No, they ain't. Hit that back on the list. Don't let them sway you. No, they on your list.
The thing is that
about
there
classic
has to be
albums.
exactly. There has to be a standard.
It can't be personal preference.
That's
It
right.
can't-
And that's it's but Kill, it's the same thing as like Thriller being a classic. Someone may hate Thriller and they can go around saying that Thriller's not a classic, but Thriller is a classic.
Off the Wall is a better album, but
exactly.
Thriller is a classic.
Exactly. Off the Wall is a better album, but
Yeah.
Thriller is a classic.
That's a
You
good one,
can't-
Vern. That's right.
You can never ever say that
Deny
Thriller deny
like
the
dog-
classic. Exactly. You can't
Doggy
do it just
Style is
because
a classic. I'm
Can I
sure
ask a question? Can I ask a question? So let's just no, what I'm trying to figure out. So let's say this. Now, is this because we're talking about black music? Like, do I have to call a Rolling Stone album? No, let me not use.
Hey, stop that, man.
Do I have to call Bruce Springsteen's "Born in the USA" a classic album, even though I've never heard it?
I wouldn't say if
You don't have to call anything anything.
You can
Yeah.
jump in genres now.
Well, no, but that's
we
not.
talk about our music.
Is
Yeah.
it specifically just for
About
black
hip-hop,
music?
right?
It's a classic
Okay.
album because that's their music. Though. If you don't
Yeah.
listen to it, I mean, what like the Beatles
Like-
albums that they
All
call.
right, so Nick, here-
Exactly. The Beatles. I
Here we
can't
go,
stand the Beatles. I think they're trash. But to say that the Beatles are trash is absurd because everybody, like the Beatles, are renowned globally for what they
Exactly.
did and all of
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Well,
Like
right.
I can say I will go on Twitter and say the Beatles are trash. You
Boy,
watch, like
God bless
people
your
come up.
mentions.
I'm
I'm gonna
Yo,
start following you.
right now, right now on my phone, I will say the Beatles are fucking trash.
Boy.
They're gonna be on Twitter hit list.
Boy.
They already
But we,
suspended people.
we know why you're gonna do that, Kill, because you won't be up.
At the end of the day, we don't so everything from black folk, but this nigga got a house. I mean, well, everybody got a house, but he got Graceland. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't like the Beatles, fuck up. They trash. You know,
Yeah,
Elvis.
but they're trash. But globally, there has to be something. You don't have to rely on critical acclaim for everything. But there has to be something has to be said about critical acclaim because if it's globally or nationally, like someone said early on, that it's accepted as such, then there's something to be said. Like that carries some weight. It's not all of it, but it carries some weight.
Right.
Right.
You can't do that to Ray Charles. Would you do that to Ray Charles?
Would I do what to Ray Charles? I do. Vince, trust me, if you really knew me, I'll fucking push an old lady down the steps. He
got goons throwing people.
I am with Chris Rock. Nobody can bump an ass.
Yeah.
So
If
Ray Charles has a whack album, I'll be like, this is whack. I don't care.
No. I'm not saying if he had bro. I'm not saying that if he has a whack album that you would say you couldn't say it. Of course you can say that, but you can't deny Ray Charles's talent.
No,
You
but
can't deny what Ray Charles.
there's a huge difference between denying somebody's talent and calling them a classic. I've got about 18 groups down here that are close to the car.
Yes.
Denying their talent. I'm telling you, they're very talented to be able to give you this much. But look at all the NBA players who never won a chip. Look at Patrick Ewing. I'm not denying nothing, but he don't got a chip.
There are certain albums that are classic, whether we like them personally or not, though.
Yeah,
This is why I'm saying let's not belabor this, because I don't agree with that. This is like the guy who said, I'll give you $100 if you let me come on and change your opinion. Like, that's just me. Like, I love Dead Presidents. I think it's a top 10 movie ever. I don't think it's critically acclaimed. It may be critically acclaimed among black folk. Like, and
that's different. That's one of your personal favorites. But we like you said, we belaboring the point.
Right. We can move on. We can move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, Porsche, I think you was next.
Sue hasn't talked in a while. He can go.
All right, Sue, you talk about.
All right, I got Boogie Down Productions with at least 3 classics.
All right, which ones? What albums?
I got Criminal Minded, By All Means Necessary, and Ghetto Music Blueprint. I might even let Entertainment slide in there.
Wow.
Ghetto music, man. You took me back with that.
That would be a slide. That would be a slide in third base. Okay, cool. Anybody else got?
Have we add in KRS Solo in there?
KRS-One. Yeah, that's what I did. I did Boogie Down Productions / KRS-One.
Yeah, because then I'll give Criminal
Minded. I did the same thing.
That's 5. That's 5 with KRS-One.
Okay.
If we add KRS, then I'll give them 3. I'll give them the first 2 and Return of the Boom Bap.
Ooh.
Nice.
Same. I would
throw sexy violence in there.
I go with that.
if we're including KRS, then I'll give him 3.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll give him 3. Vern, who you got up next?
James Todd Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
All right.
Radio, Bad, and Mama Said Knock You Out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Same thing I got. Same thing I got on that. Same thing. And again, it's the age thing, because if you wasn't around in '84 to understand radio and Big Endeavor, you know, it just.
That's why I can't really speak on it.
Yeah, but I definitely got Jay.
Too young.
Too young. I think I was in first grade when radio came out.
No doubt. Vince, what you got up next?
I'll go with G-Rap. I got G-Rap with Road to the Riches, Wanted Dead or Alive, Live and Let Die, and 4, 5, 6.
Jesus Christ, man. You were
Yes, sir.
a stepper, man. You give him 4, 5, 6, 5 mics?
I'm going for it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Word.
See, Kill, I still think you stuck on that 5 mic thing, and that's really.
But again, this is why we started with how we rank them. See, I know people who say, hey, if you never won a chip, you're not one of the NBA's top 50 players. I totally disagree with that. I have to respect somebody who just says that's how they define it. You know, I know people who say you'll never be better than Jordan until you get more rings than him. I always say, well, what about Robert Horry? They don't.
Right.
But again, I'm respectful of whatever you have in your definition of. I just wasn't ready for 4, 5, 6. I felt like
that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
A Boston in here. I wasn't here for that Boston to get run like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, you know.
I got your back, Lunk. I got your back.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is why y'all friends, because y'all been agreeing on a lot of shit I see. So that's why y'all in the group together, because y'all agree on a lot of stuff, okay?
Hey, look, I definitely agree on 4, 5, 6. That's gonna make you fall out your seat. Hey,
right now, come on, keep them coming. What you got?
Kill, I want that chair spin on one of these next.
They get it right here, good brother. What else you got for me?
You want me to just give it to you now?
Give me what you got. Make the chair spin, bro.
I'm gonna go Too Short.
I had him. My man. Yeah, I got him on there too. I got him. Me
5
too.
classics. Spin that chair now.
Well, here's the thing.
Spin the chair, kid.
I can't. Now, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't do. I can't speak on that because I've never heard a Too Short album.
Well, just spin the chair for that then.
I thought you were really gonna say something fall out. Short, because even though and again, this is the difference. I'm not saying he has classics. I'm not denying his greatness. So that's the same thing as before. Same thing. Nick has been trying to get me on DJ Quick. I hear so many people talk about Quick. I can't get past some of these album covers he got. I understand. I'm denying. I understand Too Short has greatness, so I'm not going to be mad at that.
DJ Quick, one of the best producers out in hip hop, man. You need to check it out. You're a producer. You want to hear that?
I have tried to check out Perm, but I call Perm. It doesn't work. It's okay. It's okay, but I don't deny his with what other people see, because so many people see it. So it's kind of like my pastor would say, like, if you have a whole bunch of bad relationships and they all fall apart, the only common factor is you. So I understand that I may just be the odd man out on Too Short and some of these people because so many other people like him. Again,
classics, bro.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing, but I've just never heard it, so that's the only reason why. Now, if you would have said Kid and Play got 5,
no,
the chair spin, but I'm not mad at you. But go ahead.
MC Hammer got 3 classics.
What are these albums that you got for Too Short? What you got?
I got
Born to Mac.
Born to Mac.
Life is
Short. Got Short Dogs in the house. I got Shorty the Pimp, and I got Get In Where You Fit In.
Okay,
that's the albums I got.
Wow.
So who else had Too Short? Nick, you had him?
I had him.
All right, and Vern. And see this.
Yeah, Vern. That's what I'm talking about, Vern.
Maybe going back to a regional thing because that's Atlanta and New Orleans. So that may be a regional thing. Like
that's true. I
I don't know too many up north dudes who really love Too Short, but neither here nor there.
The Midwest cats, Chicago, Indiana, Detroit. Yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm done. So Gnu, you got anybody else left?
My list is kind of done too, man. But I would say Close But No Cigars if I can name those.
Yeah. Go through your Close But No Cigars.
Motherfucking Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. He got 3 solid joints. The first one, The Coming, When Disaster Strikes,
yeah,
and
that Big Bang.
The Big Bang is tight.
Yeah, I was going to go the Big Bang, but you know, I would skip over Extinction Level. Even though it was okay, Anarchy, I would skip over that. You know what I mean? But he had 3 under his belt. That's why I would say he was close to No Cigar. Another cat. Speaking of Too Short West Coast cats, E40 was close but no cigar.
Now, that chair got to spin. Nah, we need to see the chair spin.
Again, E40. I don't like them, but I know a lot of people do.
Nah,
classics.
Yeah.
I told you better say some Kwame got 3 classics. You really have to get out of pocket. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
All right, no doubt.
He's been around. He's been around forever, man.
Nick, you got any more or any Close But No Cigar dudes?
Well, I actually still got. I'll say Scarface had. I would give Scarface 3.
Okay.
Mr. Scarface is back. The Diary, and Untouchable. I would say, yeah, that's why I ended there. Common is Close But No Cigar because I give him Resurrection, and B with One Day is a personal classic, and Light Water for Chocolate, they're like right there.
Right.
So Common is Close But No Cigar. Goody Mob, Close But No Cigar, because the first 2 I would give classic, and they kind of went where they went after that. That's about it.
All right, no doubt. Porsche, what about you?
Tupac, and I can't believe none of you guys said Tupac. Like, for me, Tupac's got 4 classics, and
I'm about to
spin that chair, Q.
Spin that shit.
Spin in the chair. Spin. All of you guys spin in the chair. I'm good with that.
I've been listening to a Pac album since the first one with Brenda's Got a Baby. So again, I know you love me.
Well, Tupacalypse Now, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli, and Me Against the World. Those are all classics, and they actually fall in every single category that I have and that I think most people have for classic status. All of those albums, they stand the test of time. His rhymes are, I think Yao said he was like dated, but at the end of the day, Tupac's lyrics are forever relevant in most of the songs that he raps in. So
get him out.
So Kill, see that's one right there. To Portia's point, I'm not a big Tupac fan. I've hung out with Tupac. My boy's got platinum albums, songs on his stuff. But I acknowledge the fact that he has classic albums.
We back on this, bro? Like,
no. I'm saying that's another.
Thank you, Vern. I appreciate it.
I get it, but I mean, dog, like I can't. If I don't like it, I can't call it a classic. Again, I'll never deny your greatness. I'll never deny your talent. But
oh my God! Wow! Tupac. Do you know All Eyes on Me was the first double album in hip hop?
Yo, Tupac.
That's the one album I don't like. Machiavelli and Me Against the World. Even the Thug Life Volume 1. Those are my 3 favorite Pac albums.
Man,
and straight up on my niggas.
Yeah, like I'm so reluctant to put any double album on classic status, but All Eyes on Me, after a lot of like critique from me listening to it, that book 1 is no skips, and book 2 has like 4 skips only, and that's a very lengthy track list. So anyways, for me, Tupac's got 4 classics, and we didn't say Nas, but I think that's a given. three classics, in my opinion, and that's Illmatic, It Was Written, and Stillmatic.
Okay.
I don't
Stillmatic, okay.
love Illmatic.
Actually, I agree with Nas. I don't know how I come off mine.
I don't know how you did either.
I
I
agree
don't
with
think
Nas.
Illmatic. I don't think Illmatic is like the best album of all time, but I do acknowledge that it's a classic.
All right,
And
well,
I know
so
Phil and I are different that way.
What
It's not the Bible. Nas got three.
What's the three?
Illmatic,
It Was
Stillmatic,
Written.
and It Was Written.
It
Yeah,
was written,
yeah.
All
Stillmatic. Listen, Stillmatic has ether, and ether
And
became a
Portia, you're not
verb.
gonna convince nobody
just
who ain't
on-
convinced.
Yeah.
Listen,
No,
just on
hey,
ether alone.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it, bro.
I
Don't waste it.
I honestly, now, Porsche, you know I'm an open-minded person. You told me to listen to Scarface. I listened to it on the way home. I will listen. It's just I can't get with this one. Like,
Listen, ether became a verb in hip hop. You got ether. Ether became a verb. This is just on that track alone. Stillmatic deserves classic status. I'm sorry. I will argue that to the
have a
death.
classic dance move that will be done till the end of time. The Kid and Play kick step, but I can't give too hype classic status. I can't. Here's the thing, and again, let me explain. Pac's double album, if you played that shit backwards and it had the cure for cancer,
That's some cold. That's cold-blooded.
cancer on there, and I'll thank him for it because that would have saved my grandmother and grandfather's
You got
not a
remember,
class.
Kill is the Biggie, man. Kill is Biggie. Now Pac.
I mean,
No, it has nothing to do with now personal. I wouldn't give Biggie's double album a classic rating, and I love Big. You know, I don't do that.
Maybe this is a West Coast thing. I mean, Tupac's like God here, so I mean,
I
know I'm not in Cali.
I never thought I thought of you as West Coast Portia to the right.
I know, but yeah, Vancouver is kind of West Coast.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's like,
Portia gonna come on the West Side.
Yo, you got to change your profile pic now to the West Side joint. You got W now.
Oh, Cube,
I'm West Coast.
Ice
My
Cube,
heart's in Brooklyn.
Ice Cube is close, no cigar. How I forget that?
Yeah, I agree.
America Most Wanted and Death Certificate.
I agree.
All right, no doubt. Sue, you got anybody else left?
I'll jump right on that, right on Ice Cube. I got three for him. I got America's Most, Death Certificate, and Lethal Injection.
Okay. All right. No doubt. No doubt. You got anybody else left on your list, though?
I had Eric B. and Rakim, but taking the temperature of this crowd.
No, brother.
Crazy thing. The temperature is fine. I'm the odd man out, so the temperature is fine. Don't.
Nah, he right on that one, Kill.
I definitely have
out. Yo, put it out there. Which joints? The first three? The first three?
I got the first two, and then yeah, fuck it, the first three, yeah.
Say it with your chest.
That's right, Primo. Tell him, Primo.
And then Don't Sweat the Technique. But yeah, like I said, you know, that one might be personal preference right there. I know, and understand that, you know, it may not be universally recognized as classic, but you know, that's the whole thing right there. That's where we all part ways, because what you said earlier, like I wanted to ask you this, Kill, too, because this is what I understood that you were saying earlier. So you saying that even if something is universally recognized as a classic, if you don't like it, it's not a classic?
I mean, not for
That's what he said.
That's exactly
what he said.
That's what you said, bro.
That's exactly what he said.
Here's the thing, and keep this in mind from a 44-year-old perspective. When me and Gnu went to Morgan in '92, hip hop people basically we agreed on 90% of everything that came out. You know, we agreed on all this stuff was dope. We all agreed on Vanilla Ice and Young MC, and that shit was whack. Everybody was walking in this hip hop camaraderie. We all love it. We are the world. And again, until Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life album came out, And that split came because that was the first album that I had seen where people who all agreed on this college campus of all black people could say, half the people was like, yo, that shit is whack. The other people loved it. Some people didn't want to hear them Swiss beats. Other people loved them Swiss beats. Then that's when this whole divide came up. That's when you got people. We just did a show and Eb was talking about, yeah, he didn't like a lot of the Biggie stuff because it was Get Money. And Vegas was saying he didn't like a lot of the J. Rule and the De La stuff because they was dissing to Get Money. Prior to all of that shit, we all agreed on basically everything. You know,
I think it was your region though, because.
But again, but you're right. You're right. All we can talk about is so I'm talking about from New York down to DC. Anything under that, I have no idea. I don't know what niggas in Dallas were listening to. I don't know what niggas in the A was listening to, which is why I love doing this with y'all, because y'all school me on what your region was listening to. So all I can speak from is New York to DC, that we were all agreeing that this was dope. You know what I mean? Now, after Hard Knock Life, that's when everybody started, it's bugged to see Vegas and Ev, two dudes who went to Morgan, two dudes from Philly, one from Brooklyn, saying they had this split that he's saying, yo, I didn't like J. Rule and De La because they was dissing to Get Money niggas. Ev is saying he didn't like to Get Money niggas. So that's when this whole split in hip hop came and everybody started going their own ways. It's almost like segregation. I don't want to get deep, but seriously, like I read this book, Death of Rhythm and Blues, and they were saying, yo, prior to segregation, I mean, when we all as black folk knew we could only go here and there, we was crew, we was community. Once they said, no, y'all could go live wherever you want, we left. Mom and pop businesses closed. We wanted to get down with white folk. We just wanted to get out. And I know a lot of people who feel like segregation fucked up black people and black unity, and to me, it's similar to what hip hop was, is that everybody was unified. And then once this Get Money, and God forbid, once Puff made the word hater into the fucking vocabulary, now, if I don't love everything you do, I'm a hater. And, it's like, that's the biggest trick of the devil I can ever think of right there, where it's like, oh, I can't say I don't like that because then I'm a hater. And oh my God, I don't want to be called a hater. So yeah, Puff, we like everything you're doing. So again, that 96, 97, that's where to me hip hop just cracked and just, I don't know if we'll ever come back from that. I miss the old days of unity. Nick, I'm sure down south, I don't know. Let me ask. Down south, was there unity? I know you would say you were the odd man out because you would have Nas, but the bulk of the people, what did y'all listen to? I mean, there wasn't a lot of fucking hip hop now. So who was y'all listening to?
When I was in high school, the perfect example, 93 is when I went to high school. So you had like Tribe, Wu-Tang, De La, Black Moon, Doggy Style. But at Douglas High School, Mr. Scarface, The World Is Yours, 8 Ball MJG coming out hard. That's what everybody was listening to.
Oh, damn. Nick, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
All right, so basically, the bulk of people were listening to more of the down south.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I said, I had to hide that, like what Sue would call the trash bin shit. I had to hide my daylight when my boys get in the car, because it's like, this nigga Nick with this New York shit. They was not listening. I was the odd man out with that.
Listen, I was in New York hating that shit.
Oh shit!
Oh God! All right, yeah. So see, like again, like that's
and like UGK, of course. You know what I'm saying? All that Suave House,
8 Ball.
Right. Yeah.
See, you're right. It's a regional thing because I never heard any of that shit. I've never heard. Somebody asked this in the group the other day, like, have you ever heard a No Limit? I've never heard anything.
I remember you saying that.
I've never heard a Lil Wayne album, a Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I never, and I'm in that
Mystical. I used to fuck with Mystical.
Yeah. And then, like, being from the South, you didn't have a choice because we was kind of late, so we had to listen to the North and the West, and then kind of develop our own sound.
Right. All right. So see, I'm sure that there are a lot of classics. That if I went down there with you and your people, y'all would be saying that MJG. Is it MJG?
8 Ball MJG. Yeah. Coming out hard.
Y'all will probably be calling stuff like that classics. And again, I know that they're loved, but I just, that sound, I can't, I really can't. Yeah. Porsche, you got anybody else?
Nope. My list is done.
All right. Quick thing, since we're talking about,
I got a couple of no cigars.
Yeah, I'm about to get to you, bro. I'm thinking regional. this is weird. Well, tell me this. A lot of the West Coast groups I liked because they sounded like they were from New York.
Of course.
Exactly. We had that.
Alcoholics.
Did West Coast, like, so did West Coast people not like those groups because they sounded like they was from New York?
Hard to say. I don't know.
I'm from the West, so I can't.
West Coast people like them because they rep the West.
Which is West Side? My fault.
West Side.
West Side representative from now on. So, what did you think about like the Alcoholics and Souls of Mischief and all of those dudes who had more of a New York sound to them?
Yeah, so I'm like, I wish I was in Cali. I could probably, like, Eddie would be perfect to speak about this, but I think I know that West Coast is super West Coast. So whatever they were repping, that if they were repping the West embraced them, regardless of sound. But obviously, Dre and Tupac and all of the kind of the big hitters were the ones that were more talked about. Obviously, they were a little more mainstream. But yeah, I mean, as long as it was West Coast, the West Coast loved them.
All right, I just wondering
because
because
like DJ Quick, Compton Most Wanted,
yes,
sure that kind of
WC, all that stuff.
DJ Quick is dope,
and that was Quick, and that was the stuff that wasn't making it to the East Coast. You know, like DOC was the first, well, Ice-T, but DOC like was the first West Coastist cat that I remember people being like, yo, this shit is dope. But it sounded like New York. Like, to me, Dre, young Dre sounded like the Bomb Squad.
Yeah,
like,
that's who he'll tell you himself. That's who he was influenced by.
Right. So that's why NWA was able to make that push to the East Coast.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because of the sound. What were you going to say, Vern?
And you want to know why we in Atlanta love Outkast and Dungeon so much? Because PA came out before Outkast. Everybody knows that.
Exactly.
But that seemed like a New York-ish type of album. Outkast came out with Spittin', but they had that Southern Cascade Road, the beautiful restaurant. They were not hiding who they were. They weren't trying to fit in.
Trying to fit in. They themselves.
Yeah. And so that's why we loved it and embraced it so much, because it was still New York-ish in the sense of it was hip hop, you know, lyrics, beats, and all that stuff. But it was us, and that's why they're so beloved, man.
Well, tell me this. This is a good question, and I don't want to hold anybody up any longer, but I guess I do. This is interesting. I'm loving this conversation. So when you said PA came out, like for instance, that whole MJG, all that stuff you're talking about, y'all know that had a specific sound to it that was different than Outkast. So y'all didn't mind when Outkast came out with, you know, beats that didn't sound like the MJG stuff. Y'all didn't mind that? Y'all didn't feel like, oh, why these dudes got these type of beats or whatever? Did y'all feel any kind of way about it?
No, because it didn't sound like nothing that Nas will rap on. It was still Southern.
It was Southern. Had the organs. You think like what's the song? What is that organ? I mean, man.
It was soul music.
Yes, that's what it was. Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah. It was just Southern soul,
right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, that makes sense. See, this is why I love y'all. I learned shit.
I do have to say, I love the one thing I love about being from Canada is that we were not like the hip hop. We got everything from everywhere. So we had all the Southern stuff, all the East Coast, all the West Coast. It was hard to find, and some of the stuff wasn't allowed into the country. Like I couldn't get get out of here. I couldn't get ODB's album at all. Like that was something we had to go to the States to get. That wasn't allowed in Canada.
Now, when you say it wasn't allowed in the country,
they banned it?
Yeah, they banned that album. Yeah, with
Why?
the Return to the 36 Chambers. Yeah.
No, I had no idea that y'all can ban music.
Yeah, they banned that album. Like that was something that had a special sticker on it when I found it.
Really?
Like
wow.
Yeah, like eventually it came in, but not upon release. That's for sure. And then you'd ask for it at the CD store, and they were like, "Sorry, can't get that in for you. That's not allowed in the country." This and that. So that's one thing I like. I don't have regional biases. I developed my regional bias over the years, and I lean sort of towards the East, obviously. But that's just. I love that I got Outkast just as much as I got Dre and Tupac and Nas and you know everybody. So that's one thing I loved.
All right, that's dope. Sue, you got anybody else left, or did I already ask you?
No, yeah, I think my card is done.
All
I
right.
got one.
Oh, I'm gonna get to you, Vince Vern. You got anybody else left?
Yeah, Public Enemy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um,
How the fuck I lead them off my
Yeah,
list?
yeah. You know, Joe Burrow's the show.
Yep.
It takes the nation of million and fear of a black planet. Two out of three of those are classic,
Bulletproof
and one is
classic, yeah.
ish. Yeah. I got two more. Mr. Kanye West to me. College Dropout or College Dropout for sure. And then you pick between Late Registration and Graduation. As after that, I ain't listen to him no more. So
I agree with that.
Yeah.
He's a wild card with Ye. I'm sorry. Finish.
No, okay. And this is one nobody would ever talk about. Close, but no cigar. Salt and pepper don't get the respect they deserve, man.
True. It's because we sexist by nature.
Hot, Cool, and Vicious dude. If I ran down the track list,
No. I'm with you on Hot, Cool, and
No, that was okay.
I'm with you. Hot, Cool, and Vicious is crazy.
and Salt with a Deadly Pepper has some dope stuff.
Yeah, Salt with the everybody.
Get up. Yeah. They have some joints on there. So that's my close. That's me.
All right. The thing I was gonna say Kanye, but Nick won't allow me to use the bootleg version of College Dropout.
You gotta use what came in the store.
Right, I know. That's what got me. He was almost there with if I could use the bootleg version, but Nick won't let me.
It's your show, man. It's your show.
So you saying
abide by the rules, man.
you were saying you had three or the Close but no cigar.
Close but no cigar.
I had Jay at 3 with.
But you still got him with two. What's the two classes you got?
I got Late Registration and My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Ugh.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm at. But see, I would give Ye 3 without College Dropout, me personally.
Because you would do Late Registration, Graduation, and My Dark Twisted.
Yes, sir.
All right. I ain't mad at that. I think that was Vince that made that noise.
He
That was an accident. That was an accident.
All right, you don't fuck with.
I got the first three Kanye. I would agree that those first three are classic.
Okay. So it was just my beautiful dark.
Yeah, I made that noise too for that one.
Okay.
Damn, y'all ain't like.
What's on that album? I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, bro, when I stopped listening to Kanye, I stopped messing with him.
Got Power, Devil in a New Dress.
Yeah, you're talking Greek and Latin to me right now.
There's some bangers on there, in my opinion. But Vince, what you got left, man?
All right, I'm gonna go with OC, Word Life, Jewels, and Trophies. I'll do those three, and I'll throw in Ice-T, Ryan Pay's Power, and Original Gangster. That's all I got.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
You almost got the chair spinning. I don't know if you saw it on that.
It would be Close but no cigar.
It was moving.
Well, what happened? What you moving the chair for?
Hell like Ice-T.
No, not Ice-T. Who's the first person you said?
Oh, you didn't like the OC joints?
OC, not Trophy. I can't.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, hey,
but
Apollo Brown.
I'm not a big Apollo Brown dude. The only people I got Close but no cigar, Common, like Nick said. We started with Ghost. I got him with Ghost with Iron Man and Supreme
Clientele.
Yeah.
Now see, Fish Scale would be Close for me.
Yeah, I would say Fish Scale. Yeah.
Fish Scale, right.
I can see that.
Nick just hit it on the head. Because I had Fish Scale almost there.
All right. And I got the Roots with Do You Want More at 4 mics, Philadelphia Things Apart at 5 mics. Kind of same thing with Tribe. They was too light in the ass with me for when Do You Want More came out. All to me, and y'all have heard this a million times. Tribe and the Roots to me follow the same path. You know, like I didn't. You know, their debut albums were solid, but they just didn't get me. They was too light in the ass. And the only other people I did some R&B. I got Mary J. Blige with 411, My Life, and the Mary album, which I'm sure not a lot of people will agree with. And I'm going to go to, I guess this is considered rock, my man Lenny Kravitz with Mama Says. You got the 5 album, and you got the Black and White in America album. So
I got one more R&B since you're bringing those up.
What you got?
Tony Tone.
Hell yeah.
Sons of Soul, House of Music. And Revival is in there.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'm with that.
All right, I ain't mad at that. All right, dope show, dope discussion. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. Like, yo, you call it shit that's a classic, not a classic. I know I'm fucked up, but I help kids. You know, keep that in mind. I help the children. I help. I know I'm a bad person. Y'all like, how the hell he pocket? But I help kids. I help kids get in college. And
I have a feeling I'm not going to be seen on this show.
No. We disagree on nothing.
No, I'm joking, big bro. I'm joking.
Gnu, give them all the stuff where they can get at you, man.
Yo, on the gram, at Mr. Gary Gnu. I ain't on Facebook. I'll be on Twitter, a little something. At Mr. Gary 73 on Twitter.
All right, no doubt. Nick, give him everything, good brother.
Damn is the classic.
All right, Porsche, give him everything.
On Twitter, it's Cherchez La Porsche.
All right, no doubt. Sue, give him all your stuff, good brother.
Just Twitter at Fat Man Sue.
All right, now Bird, give him all the stuff, good brother.
VE Chandler 10 on Instagram and V Chandler 10 on Twitter.
All right, Vince, give him everything.
We'll make beats for food.com.
All right, I'll take that. I will always take some shameless promotion. And y'all know what it is with me, Kill889 on Instagram and Twitter. We'll make beats for food.com. I appreciate y'all. Check y'all next week, y'all.
All right.
All right.
Peace.